Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Week 17 in the NFL. We are previewing right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. We're going to cover the Saints-Atlanta game. And Joe Duffy, last week, right, the Falcons beat the Panthers. That was a pick that you gave at your website, not on the money line, but on the spread. So anyone who went to your website and saw that pick had a nice winner with that one. Impressive win for the Falcons. 2 straight covers now for them after 9 straight ATS losses. And maybe even more impressively, 0-10-1 over-under in their last 11 games. And I've actually been on a bunch of those, not necessarily the early ones, but the middle and the end ones. I'm not exactly sure how many I actually wound up betting, but a handful of them I was definitely on. Here we have an interesting total. It's 52.5. The Greek is hanging 52 and Pinnacle is hanging 53. Then on the other side, you have the Saints, of course, got a gutty win with Drew Brees injured. What's going to be his condition for this game? Not exactly sure, but as horrible as the Saints defense is, I actually noticed that they actually went under in 3 out of their last 4 road games as well. And these two teams did play once this year already in New Orleans. The game went to 52. Joe Duffy, I'm thinking a shot with the under might be worth it again with the Falcons. What do you think?
It would make me a little bit nervous, in part because what the Falcons really need to do is, look, it's been a very rough year for Matt Ryan. Obviously, he's coming off of, when all things considered, maybe his most impressive game of the year because they were going up against one of the best defenses in the league. Of course, obviously, an undefeated team, and he pulled out the victory. But I think he would just love, absolutely love to go into the postseason on a very high note. And now with some momentum going his way, going against a very shaky Saint defense that allows 1.0 yards per rushing attempt above a team's normal average. They allow a team to get a full yard above their normal average, and passing 1.4. And remember what I always say, that intensity shows up a lot more on the defensive end. You can kind of see how both of these teams, they don't have a lot to play for. I think maybe there'll be a little bit more intensity on the offensive end of that. But all in all, my play here is the Falcons. They've been very streaky. They're perfect 4-0 this year against the spread when they're off of both a win and a cover. And to put that in perspective, they're 2-9 in the all other games. So I just think that Atlanta maybe has a little bit more to play for. They'd love to go into the offseason on a high note, and for Matt Ryan to end a very disappointing year with 2 nice efforts. And he's got the opportunity against that Saints defense.
Yeah, that's the way I'm thinking as well. I mean, the Saints, of course, won their home finale last week with Drew Brees hobbled, but they got the win anyway. It was a heroic performance by Brees, and everyone was like, "Yay!" And they got the win, and it was inspiring. And now they have to come back and do it again on the road here, and maybe we see the same situation here with the Falcons -4. So you're going to make this an official pick, Atlanta -4, Joe?
I will. I know this is, if as much as any, this has been truly, as the old cliche has, kind of throw out the point spreads type of rivalry. This is a true rivalry, but Drew Brees, he's been around forever, and with the case of Ryan, really had regressed this year, but now is getting a little momentum. Yeah, I do think all in all, I will lay the points here with the Falcons.
All right, maybe this is a great play then, Joe. I mean, based on that analysis, maybe the Saints will come in here and just be completely flat.
It could be. I haven't made it a premium play yet. In fact, actually, as we speak, I don't have premium plays up for the NFL as of yet, but it's certainly something that's being considered for a premium play for sure.
All right, Joe Duffy liking Atlanta -4, and of course at his website, Joe Duffy gave Atlanta plus the points last week. Joe Duffy, tell us a little bit more about that website, OffshoreInsiders.com.
And Joe Duffy at OffshoreInsiders.com also gave the under as part of a winning week in the NFL last week. Look, working my tail off. I'm one of, really, there's only about 3% of handicappers who do this full time, and a lot of people, they do it just part time. So just imagine how hard they're working on Christmas week, when on their regular job they're on vacation, they're probably visiting family. Not me. This has been my entire life and obsession for the last 3 decades. Continue to win as we follow this back on fire. 5-1 our last 6 wise guy plays in football. Just visit OffshoreInsiders.com. Spectacular portfolio for the rest of the year.
Thanks, Joe.